Thank you, sir. So, good morning everyone. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you present here today. I welcome you all to witness the Youth Parliament, which is being conducted by our students of class 9 to 12. This Youth Parliament is a debate between the best debaters, opinion makers and policy makers. The platform is meant to inspire the youth to express their views in an organized way, to speak up and make an impact on the change for our country. The objective of Youth Parliament is to strengthen the roots of democracy, inculcate healthy habits of discipline and tolerance, and to enable the student community to know about the practices and procedures of the Parliament. So, bright and early, with hopes high and spirits soaring, let us begin this day with an atmosphere of warmth and learning. Let us begin this day with the Youth Parliament. Please have a round of applause for our students.
स्पीकर महोदया पधार रही है।
A very good morning to all of you. This is our very first National Youth Parliament session, and I hope this session will be a fruitful one for all of us. Now, let me recall an inspiring quote for our first female president, Ms. Pratibha Patil. The youth is the future of our nation. It is their responsibility to actively participate in it. It is important that the decorum and dignity of the House is upheld at all the times. The image of Parliament in the public mind should be one where preceding debates and discussion take place with a view to resolve issues with such a cooperative and constructive approaches. We begin today's session with oath or affirmation for our newly elected members. Secretary General, please.
Honorable Speaker and Honorable Member, the agenda of the House is as follows. Affirmation by the new member of the House. Question are, calling attention notice, debate on the new education policy bill, passing of the new education policy bill. We are proceeding by affirmation by the new member of the House, Ms. Khushi Shauki, who stands elected from the South Delhi constituency of Patiala.
I will take oath.
Madam, would
हूँ कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति श्रद्धा और एकता बनाए रखूंगी तथा जिस पद को मैं ग्रहण करने वाली हूँ उसको श्रद्धा पूर्वक और कर्तव्यों के साथ निर्वाह करूंगी। धन्यवाद।
Mr. Arindam Meena, who stands elected from the Central Delhi constituency of Chandni Chowk. Sir, would you like to take oath or affirmation?
I will take oath.
In which language would you like to take oath?
In English.
Proceed.
I, Aditya Meena, have been elected as a member of Parliament. I swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by the law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you.
With the question up. Question number 101 for Home Minister by Mr. Chaitanya Singh.
Madam Speaker, as we all know that secularism is the very soul of the constitution of our nation. Yet, on the 78th Independence Day, the government announced UCC is a secular code. But the irony of the secular code is that it's targeting and harming the integrity and diversity.
Honorable Speaker, first of all, I would like to say that this is such a ridiculous question that it harms my dignity as a Home Minister to answer. But as the elected member member, I am compelled to answer. First of all, through this parliament, I would like to assure each and every member of this great nation that we are not harming or excluding any religion. And as far as the question arises of the rights of a citizen, UCC promotes secularism and provides equal rights to each.
Any more supplementary question?
Yes, ma'am. Honorable Speaker, इनकी कथनी और करनी में जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. I want to shift the attention of the honorable members on the increasing rates of crimes done against women in this country. As a woman, I am concerned about the lives of our daughters, sisters and mothers. एक यक्ष प्रश्न, इन सांपों से, इन भेड़ियों से कैसे बचेंगी बेटियां? सत्ता के पास अफसोस है, समाधान नहीं. On behalf of every woman, I want to know that what initiatives are being implemented to improve the safety of women and punish the culprits.
The safety of women, particularly in urban areas, is a critical issue that the government is addressing with comprehensive initiatives. Legal reforms, fast-track courts, women helplines, and other safety measures are provided. Several laws have been changed to punish the culprit. I want to shift the attention of the Member of Parliament to the laws which have been changed. According to section 85 and 86 of BNS, if a person is found guilty of committing crimes done against women, the person will be punished and jailed for 3 years and penalty of approx 1 crore will be charged. If a person is found guilty of committing rape, the culprit will be hanged to death or imprisoned for life. This was first governed by IPC section 63, is now governed by BNS section 376. And new reforms has been made. Only female officers are allowed to question the rape victims according to section 64 of BNS. यत्र नारी पूजन्ति रमति भवते देवता. जहाँ नारियों की पूजा होती है, वहाँ भगवान का निवास होता है. आज इस संसद के द्वारा मैं देश की सभी नारियों को यह आश्वासन देती हूँ कि आपकी सुरक्षा हमारी प्राथमिकता है. ये मेरा वादा है. धन्यवाद.
Now, question number 102 for Ministry of Defence by Ms. Chetali Shoghi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As we all know, Agnipath is a tour of duty style scheme approved by the Government of India on 14 June 2022 and implemented in our country few months later in September 2022 for the recruitment of the soldiers below the rank of commissioned officers into 3 service of armed forces. So, my question is, how do you think Agniveer scheme, which offers personal development of the young recruits, and what measures can be implemented to ensure its benefits are maximized? क्योंकि जहाँ तक हम लोग जानते हैं, आपने अग्निवीर के नाम पे कहा था कि रोजगार देंगे, पर हमें तो आज भी आधा भारत बेरोजगार दिख रहा है. My second question, what measures would your party implement to ensure the greater transparency and accountability in the defense procurement and expenditure?
Good morning, Honorable Speaker Madam and all Parliament members. As we all are aware of a military operation that was conducted, namely Balakot airstrikes, by the Indian Air Force on February 29, 2019. The operation was in response to the Pulwama attack that occurred on February 14, 2019, where a car bomb explosion killed 40 Indian paramilitary personnel. I repeat, 40 Indian paramilitary personnel. Madam, is this the security of our country? In addition, a surgical strike was announced but not executed on POK by the Indian Air Force, which often touch the critical aspects of military strategy, operational transparency and national security. I hope you remember, our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier
protecting it. Have you so effectively introduced to ensure the credibility, authenticity and security of its military? Thank you, Madam. The Agniveer scheme not only provides a golden opportunity to serve the nation, but it also empowers the youth with qualities of discipline, courage and leadership, making them Bharat Mata ke Veer Sapoot, who are not just soldiers but architects of nation building. We will be taking a few measures in order to keep the consistency in the scheme and making it a success. Every Agniveer will be provided with career counseling and skill development programs by the end of the service. They will be prioritized for jobs and will be given special scholarships by the end of the scheme. The motto of our armed forces is Seva Parmo Dharma. Service is the highest duty. This scheme brings this motto to life. Those brave enough to embrace this challenge will forever say for life that they were once a part of the Indian Armed Forces. And for those who sit on the sidelines and talk the big game while clutching onto their comfort zones, remember, khali bartan hi awaaz karte hain. It takes true courage to step forward with the call of duty begins, not just empty words. Now, आपकी ट्रांसपेरेंसी के लिए हमें मिस्टर इंडिया ही बनना पड़ेगा. इस बात पे मैं आपके लिए 2 पंक्तियां कहना चाहूंगी. औरों के ख्यालात की करते हैं तलाशी, औरों के ख्यालात की करते हैं तलाशी और खुद के गिरबान में झांका नहीं जाता. Addressing the core of another issue, the surgical strikes that were announced, they were executed in our very rear. The surgical strikes are highly sensitive operations and public disclosure of such operations is carefully managed. Now talking about the airstrikes that were conducted by the Indian Air Force in Pakistan was a part of the operations conducted to neutralize the terrorism. The strikes in the Balakot was a clear message to those who undermine our sovereignty and safety for the country. As the saying goes, हम शांत हैं लेकिन कमजोर नहीं. अगर हमें कोई उकसाएगा तो हम जवाब देने से पीछे नहीं हटेंगे. Thank you.
Engine number 103 for Foreign and External Affairs by Ms. Drishti Malik.
I thank the Honorable Speaker for providing me this opportunity to ask questions to the Foreign Ministry of India. As we all know that how the people of India who have gone abroad for education, employment and tourism are facing dangers and exploitations as been stuck in war-zone nations such as Israel, Palestine, Ukraine and Russia. According to Hindustan Times, Libyan communication had barely 1 gigabit. So, will the Minister of Foreign Affairs be pleased to state the list of measures undertaken by the government for the welfare and assistance of students and the list of countries whom the government has signed the migration agreement doing with the benefits of young professional workers and students?
Thank you for your question, Honorable Speaker. Freedom, even in the domestic field. And now to my point, India are very focused for the safety for the Indian young students going abroad for studies, and this is the topmost priority of Indian government. And Indian Post Abroad maintain regular contact with Indian students and young professionals, and new students that are getting admissions in abroad are invited to Indian community events that are organized and also embassies. Senior embassy officials also visit their own country foreigners to maintain regular contact and safety and to ensure their needs. I would like to emphasize my date again, 7 October 2023, and India has called Indian policies towards Palestine. And now, the Foreign Ministry also has many reports about evacuation and safety of Indians. According to our statistical reports, there were 500 Indians who were evacuated. As the first batch follows, there were 212 adults and with an infant on 13th October 2023. Again, 13th October 2023. And as the second batch follows, there were 235 Indians with 2 infants who were safely evacuated. India has signed many MOUs with countries
from 2014 till now. Countries like Japan, Oman, Russia, the Republic of Korea, France and USA. And with the backbreakers, India has built their people know less about each other. Thank you. Any more supplementary question?
Yes, ma'am. अध्यक्ष महोदय और संसद के सभी सदस्य जन, मैं आप सबका ध्यान इस बात पर आकर्षित करना चाहता हूँ, जैसे कि आप सब जानते ही हैं कि केरला में हमारी भारतीय स्त्रियों का धर्म जवाब दीजिए।
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदय और आज की सभा के सदस्यगण, मैं आपका थोड़ा सा और समय लेना चाहूंगी इस प्रश्न के उत्तर के लिए। धर्म की सबसे सरल व्याख्या यह है कि हमारी वजह से किसी भी आत्मा को दुख ना पहुंचे, यही धर्म है। केरला एक ऐसा सच है जिसे हम अपने आसपास देखकर भी नजरअंदाज कर देते हैं, कर सकती हैं, या वो एम्बेसी में जाकर जहां पर भी आपकी तकलीफ बता सकती हैं, हम सबसे आगे खड़े होंगे। भारतीय सरकार उनकी आर्थिक सहायता भी देगी और साथ के साथ उनकी विदेशी या कोई भी भारतीय संबंधियों से भी मिलवाएगी। I would like to conclude this with a very beautiful quote that was given by Mahatma Gandhi ji, that says, "To change one religion under the threat of force is no conversion, but rather cowardice." Thank you. For Railway and Petroleum Ministry by Vinita Singh.
Honorable Speaker Madam, I would like to recall your attention to the latest rail accident that happened on 17 August 2024, in which 22 coaches of 19168 Sabarmati Express got delayed near Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh after the engine hit a boulder. The accident even happening in the first place, and what steps have been taken so that there will be no further accident in the future?
Thank you for raising the question. I want to assure you that we have already taken steps to avoid any accidents in the future. And by the way, we have already introduced modified center buffer 2+ system, bogie mounted air brake system, and also automatic fire and smoke detection system.
But the method you are talking about are
40 in the year 2023 and 24. The train accidents were 1,711 in the year 2004 to
हम देखते हैं कि हाल ही में एक यात्री ने रेलवे में मिलने वाले खाने में कीड़े पाए थे और कई अन्य यात्रियों ने भी रेलवे के खाने की गुणवत्ता की शिकायत की है। जैसा कि हम सब ने कहा है, स्वच्छता में समझौता नहीं किया जा सकता। स्वच्छता में समझौता नहीं किया जा सकता। क्या हमारी रेलवे सरकार इसके लिए कोई प्रणाली शुरू करेगी?
रेलवे में खाद्य सुरक्षा और स्वच्छता सुनिश्चित करने के हम काफी नए कदम उठा रहे हैं।
Now, question number 105 for Ministry of Sports by Mr. Tanish Shoki.
Respected Speaker, Madam, my question to Sports Minister is that other countries provided water tanks to their athletes, but from our side no water tanks were there. Why? Is this how the Sports Ministry and management works? Ma'am, please for God's sake and the welfare of the Sports Association and society, please resign and give way to others. Is there any other adequate practice for sports players or whether any proposal for pension to sports persons?
Nevertheless, two-member committee inquired into the allegation. The committee would submit its reports within 7 days. In addition, on 21st August 1984, as a follow-up of the National Sports Policy, Sports Authority is encouraging deserving sports players to practice free of cost in our coaching camps. Government has also launched schemes known as Halo India Movement for the aspiring sports person. Moreover, we are conducting camps such as inter-schools, zonals to target all those children living in the beat-outs. The government has already under operation to deny under certain condition and hardship. I would like to end this with a quote that never say never, because winners never quit and quitters never win. Set your goals high until you get hit.
Any more
ओलंपिक गेम्स में पदक जीतकर हमारे देश का नाम पूरे विश्व में रोशन करें। हालांकि मात्र 100 ग्राम उनका वजन ज्यादा होने के कारण उनका चयन ना हो सका, तो मेरा सही है, और अगर खेल मंत्रालय का हाल ऐसा ही रहा तो भारत देश के लिए पदक कहां से आएंगे?
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदय जी, असली विजेता वो नहीं होता जो बार बार हारने के बाद भी हार मान जाता है। असली विजेता वो होता है जो बार बार हारने के बाद फिर एक बार प्रयास करता है। UWW नियमों के अनुसार फोगाट का वजन 100 ग्राम अधिक होने की वजह से उनका चयन ना हो सका, लेकिन भारत सरकार ने विनेश फोगाट को पूरी सहायता दी गई है। निजी कर्मचारी और 75 लाख रुपए भी दिए गए हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने पीटी उषा जी से इस मुद्दे पे बात की और बोला यदि इससे फोगाट को मदद मिल सकती है तो वो अपनी आयोजता को संबद्ध इस पे कड़ी सप्ताह को खेल सप्ताह घोषित किया जाए, जिसमें हर विद्यालय को भाग लेना होगा और जीते गए विद्यालयों की सूचना हम विज्ञापन में करेंगे। मैं इस पर कुछ पंक्तियां कहना चाहूंगी कि
for the present physical year and how does it help the citizen of the country?
Thank you, Speaker Ma'am and Honorable Parliament Member, for giving me this opportunity to speak. The Union Budget for the fiscal year 2024-25 has been carefully crafted to address multiple dimensions of our economy. Muft Bijli Yojana for the welfare of the people. We have significantly increased funding for infrastructure projects including road, railways and urban development. Recognizing the role of small upgrades, we have augmented the budget for healthcare to improve public health infrastructure, increase funding for educational institutions to provide quality education.
Both the consumer price index and the wholesale price index saw consistent rises. Even the food inflation rose up to 10.19%. तो मेरा ये सवाल है, क्या एक आम आदमी इस बढ़ती हुई महंगाई में अपनी रोजी रोटी कर पाएगा, जहाँ हर साल 10% गुना महंगाई बढ़ती है?
धन्यवाद माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय और आज की सभा के सभी सदस्यगण। महंगाई की चुनौती सरकार की प्राथमिकता। हम इसे नियंत्रित करने के लिए आवश्यक कदम उठा रहे हैं। जैसे कि हम सभी जानते ही हैं, आर्थिक स्थिरता के लिए निवेश और सुधार जरूरी है। आवश्यक वस्तुओं की कीमतों को नियंत्रित करने क्या है। इसके अतिरिक्त केंद्रीय बैंक ने मौद्रिक नीति के माध्यम से भी महंगाई को नियंत्रित करने का प्रयास किया है।
Is central bank trying to control the inflation rate through monetary policies?
चलिए, अगर आर्थिक आंकड़ों की बात करी ही जा रही है तो ये भी सुनिए। 2020 की महामारी के वक्त भी 80 करोड़ गरीबों को मुफ्त में राशन महीनों तक दिया गया है और जनता की मांग को मद्देनजर रखते हुए हम आवश्यक बदलाव ला रहे हैं। हमारा उद्देश्य महंगाई पर लगा विकास की राह आसान। हमारी सरकार के अंतर्गत भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था विश्व में 5वें स्थान पर पहुंच गई है। अब मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए आपने क्या किया? दूसरों पर प्रेशर उठाने से पहले अपने गिरबान पर झांक के देख लीजिए। धन्यवाद। Prime Minister by Ms. Gandhi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Today I would like to highlight the fact that sporadic skirmishes and border disputes lead to higher tensions amongst neighboring countries. This can lead to political instability, regional instability, disruption of trade, and the dehiscence of economy. We have the Jammu Kashmir dispute with Pakistan, then we have the Aksai Chin region, the line of control, the line of actual control. The fact of the matter that remains is that throughout history, at every point of time, India has been at a dispute with at least one country. As Mahatma Gandhi used to say, that the hinges of this society resides upon diplomacy. I would like to question the ruling party today that what has been their approach by
What has been the approach to tackle this situation? What have been they doing?
Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the honorable member for raising this question. Now, let me be clear. The prime agenda of the government of India is to be in peace with all its neighbors, whether it's China, whether it's Nepal, whether it's Myanmar or Bangladesh or any other neighboring countries. As far as the matter of Indo-Chinese relations are concerned, we are focusing on consistent and fruitful talks on border issues along the LSE as well as and is closely monitoring the prevailing situations there while ensuring that regional trade, water sharing, electricity sharing and the relationship of trust and reliance between them and India does not come to a halt. As far as the question of Pakistan is concerned, dialogue with Pakistan until and unless it ceases to fund and foster terrorism inside its territory. Thank you.
Any more supplementary question?
Yes, ma'am. The condition of recent political instability and economical challenges in Bangladesh, such as sharp depreciation of Bangladeshi taka, leading to high debt service liability and low-cost public investment project, is a headline these days. So, Honorable Speaker, Madam, my question to Prime Minister is: how is the Indian government planning to strengthen diplomatic relations, support regional stability, and ensure that any potential spillover effect is effectively managed to protect India's national interest?
Speaker Madam, I appreciate the honourable member for raising a question of such utmost importance. Being the leader of the House, I must assure this session that India is closely monitoring the situation in Bangladesh right now. We are in consistent touch with our Bangladeshi counterparts so as to ensure regional stability and foster peace. Moreover, India is also ready to provide any financial or humanitarian aid. The matter of the minority Hindus community in Bangladesh, and we will certainly not hesitate on raising their matter in any international forum like the United States, SAARC or ASEAN. Thank you very much.
Now has been trying to tackle the problem of brain drain. The students who base off their knowledge on our Indian education system are now using their ideologies not for the benefit of our own country but for foreign grounds. How do you propose to right this problem, and have any surveys been recently conducted? If yes, what are the results?
Madam Speaker, as Prime Minister, I understand the importance of brain drain and its impact on our nation's development. Recently, many surveys and studies have been conducted by many government institutions like the Indian Statistical Institute, National Sample Survey Organization, and many private institutions adhering to government norms and regulations. Their studies, this is also accompanied by the fact that many skilled labor from countries in South America, Africa and the Indian diaspora living in what we call the so-called first world country are coming back to India for better job opportunities and living conditions. I have some statistics to substantiate my point. A study conducted by Grant Thornton Institute in 2018 showed that 40% of the Indian expatriates living in countries like the US, UK and the UAE are coming back to India for better job opportunities and living standards. This is also substantiated by the report by Dalberg and Indiaspora in 2021, which show that between 2014 and 2021, 36% of population, it's very big. सभापति महोदया, आज मैं विपक्ष से पूछना चाहता हूँ, आज तो ये विपक्ष में बैठ के सरकार से आरोप प्रत्यारोप का खेल खेल रहे हैं। क्या ये आज जहमत करेगी ये बताने की कि स्वतंत्रता से लेके 55 सालों तक ये सरकार में थे, आखिर इन्होंने भारत के विकास के लिए क्या किया? जिस भारत के मतदाता ने इन्हें अपना मतदान दिया, अपना जनप्रतिनिधि चुना, ये उसी मतदाता को भूल गए। उसके विकास और उसका पेट भरने की जगह इन्होंने सिर्फ अपना पेट भरा है, अपना जेब भरा है। और आज ये हमारी सरकार और हमारी नीतियों पे प्रश्न उठाते हैं। मुझे तो उनकी इस विडंबना पे हंसी भी आती है। हमें जफा याद नहीं, तुम्हें वफा याद नहीं, हमें जफा याद नहीं, जिंदगी मौत के दो ही तराने, एक तुम्हें याद नहीं, एक हमें याद नहीं।
अच्छा सर, शेर और शायरी से देश नहीं चलता, काम करके दिखाइए।
स्पीकर महोदय, आपकी आज्ञा हो तो मैं प्रधान। बात चली थी देश में बुलेट ट्रेन चलाने से, बात चली थी देश में बुलेट ट्रेन चलाने से, एक के बदले 10 सिर काट के लाने से, एक के बदले 10 सिर काट के लाने से। बात चली थी कि ना खाने से ना खिलाने से, अब कहाँ गई वो काले धन की बात। पिछले 10 साल से जनता सुन रही है रेडियो पे मन की बात। चौकीदार देख रहा है, चौकीदार देख रहा है और लोग बैंकों को चूना लगाकर भगोड़े हो रहे हैं और यहाँ पढ़े लिखे युवाओं के सपने और उनकी आंखों के सामने पकोड़े हो रहे हैं। अब तो साहब के ऑफिस से भी मेन्यू बनकर आता है, कब क्या पहनना है, कब क्या खाना है, सबका एक तौर तरीका आता है। अब एक तरफ एक गरीब एक टाइम की रोटी के लिए भी तरसने वाले हैं। कृपया बता दीजिए अच्छे दिन कब आने वाले हैं।
पहली बात तो ये, हमारे शायरी करने पर मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आपको सद्बुद्धि मिले। पहली बात तो ये कि जिस बुलेट ट्रेन की ये बात कहते हैं, मैं उस पर कहना चाहता हूँ, बुलेट ट्रेन का 50% काम पूरा हो चुका है और बाकी का काम प्रगति में है। जो आपकी सरकार में सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक फाइल में सिमट के रह गए, वो तो हमारी सरकार ने उस फाइल से बुलेट ट्रेन को निकाल के वास्तविक आप ही के पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता से निकला है और आज आप हमारे ऊपर सवाल उठाते हैं। फिर ये कहते हैं कि देश से भगोड़े भाग रहे हैं, तो क्या ये बताएंगे कि बोफोर्स कैंप के मुख्य आरोपी पात्रोची को भारत से निकालने में किस पार्टी का हाथ था? सभापति ये कहते हैं कि चली थी बात बुलेट ट्रेन की, हम कहना चाहते हैं चली थी बात कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स की, हुआ क्या? घोटाला। चली थी बात 2G स्पेक्ट्रम की, हुआ क्या? उससे बड़ा घोटाला। चली थी बात कोयले की, हुआ क्या? सबसे बड़ा घोटाला। इनकी हर एक नीति, हर एक प्रस्ताव के पीछे बहुत बड़ा घोटाला छुपा है, लेकिन ये तो हमें ही झूठा ठहराते हैं। अब इसमें हम क्या ही कह सकते हैं। दूसरी बात, बेरोजगारी की बात की जाए, जाके कहें कि बात झूठ है तो वो अलग बात होगी। इनकी सभापति महोदया, इनकी इस जुगाड़ू कविता का उत्तर भी ऐसे ही जुगाड़ू शेर नहीं देना चाहिए कि तुम्हें उलझी गांठें खोलना नहीं आता, तुम्हें उलझी गांठें करने वाला।
Okay. Honorable Minister of Education, to please introduce the new Education Policy Bill 2020. Minister of Education, please.
अब्दुल कलाम जी का एक प्रसिद्ध कथन है, शिक्षा वास्तविकता को उजागर करने का एक उपकरण है। ये एक ऐसा यंत्र है जो आपको असंभव को संभव में बदलने की ताकत देता है। In line with this profound statement, I stand before you to introduce the new Education Policy 2020 that aims to equip our students with knowledge and skills to transform challenges into opportunities. Education is the cornerstone for progressive society, empowering individuals to reach their full potential and contribute meaningfully to the nation's development. With this belief in the transformative power of education, I am honored to present this bill. The new Education Policy 2020 represents a restructured framework divided into 4 distinct stages: the foundational stage, the preparatory stage, the middle stage, and the secondary stage. In addition to this structural framework, our objectives are clear. The policy ensures universal access of quality education, foster holistic development, emphasize critical thinking and creativity, and integrate vocational education into mainstream curriculum, reduce attachment to approach education. Your support and engagement are something that we look forward to. In closing, I would like to leave with a thought that encapsulates the essence of mission. सपनों से बढ़कर शिक्षा है, ज्ञान का अनुभव सुनाना है, अंधकार में जो रोशनी लाए वही सच्ची संपत्ति और दौलत है, वही तो शिक्षा है, वही तो शिक्षा है। धन्यवाद। English remains an integral part act is not to create linguistic barriers, but rather to build a strong connection with our young learners and their cultural roots and rich heritage. Your Honor, the true question here is that by the opposition now focusing on the language aspect of the new education policy, the council members must remember they previously criticized the NEP sought to emphasize on the cultural values. Now, they criticize that this emphasis on the cultural values might hinder students' preparation for the global stage. This change in stance not only overlooks the policies and act of balancing global and cultural needs, but also shows a lack of seriousness about the future of our children. Instead, it faced parliamentary time with contradictory criticisms.
With all due respect, ma'am, let's stop pretending that your policy is as balanced as you claim. We are not against the cultural education. We are against, what we are against is using culture as a cover for neglecting the practical needs of today's students. We know the government has a habit of wrapping everything in the every decision in the cloak of nationalism. But when we realize the cultural pride won't alone get this job of our students.
Once again, you have proved my point. You only care about finding the flaws. You talk about job and global competition, but fail to recognize that without is something you clearly don't understand. आपके लिए एक प्रसिद्ध कथन है, कामयाब लोग अपने फैसलों से दुनिया बदल देते हैं। कामयाब लोग अपने फैसलों से दुनिया बदल देते हैं और नाकामयाब लोग दुनिया के डर से अपने फैसले बदल देते हैं।
मिनिस्टर साहब,
आप अपने शब्दों को ज़्यादा संभाल के बोले। आपको पता होना चाहिए कि आपके सामने कौन है। आपके सामने हमारे देश की शिक्षा मंत्री है। आप ये कहते हैं कि हम पिछले सरकार की बात करके बांटने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। हम आगे पिछली सरकार की बातें क्यों ना करें? आपकी सरकार ने किया ही क्या है? आपकी सरकार ने हमारे बच्चों के ऊपर जो मानसिक दरार डाला है, उसका नुकसान हम आप तक झेलते आ रहे हैं। एक आपके मैं बीच में आकर क्यों ना बोलूँ? आपकी सरकार ने ऐसा किया ही क्या है? आपकी सरकार ने हमारे बच्चों के भविष्य को अंधकार में डाल दिया है और जब हम उससे बचा रहे हैं, आप उसमें हमारे खिलाफ खड़े होके हमारे खिलाफ बोल रहे हैं।
Please be seated. Ms. Rukhsar.
Honorable Speaker, my question hereby stands that while the new education policies emphasize on continuous assessment, associated studies, and early vocational training is commendable in its intent to create a holistic and skill-oriented education system. I am deeply concerned about the potential.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, thank you for giving me this opportunity to answer this question. पढ़ेगा इंडिया तो ही बढ़ेगा इंडिया. I repeat, पढ़ेगा इंडिया तो ही बढ़ेगा इंडिया. In the new education policy, NEP 2020, we have already improved our curriculum structure and put light on students' mental health. To address these particular concerns, a few strategies have been implemented. First, personalized learning approaches. We have introduced flexible assessment methods like allowing students to make annual projects instead of just sitting for traditional examinations. This includes self-assessments and other time-development counselors to manage their stress and anxiety. Teacher training was also one of the things on which we have focused on. Educators need to be equipped to support students, especially when they are navigating these new educational paths. Thank you.
कहते हैं कि शिक्षा के माध्यम से जिज्ञासा के बीज होते हैं जो ज्ञान के वृक्ष में विकसित होते हैं। माननीय वक्ता कोटा शिक्षा स्नातकों में आत्महत्या के केसों में बढ़ोतरी देखते थे, जिसका मुख्य कारण है ज़्यादा एकेडमिक दबाव। इस मुद्दे को ध्यान रखते हुए ज्ञानी शिक्षा नीति 2020 की ढांचा और सुधार जैसे कि लगातार असाइनमेंट और औपचारिक शिक्षा के अधिक एकेडमिक दबाव को कम करने में सक्षम है। नई नीतियां जैसे कि पारिवारिक सेवा और आदि के बावजूद भी अगर विद्यार्थी को राहत नहीं है तो आपके हिसाब से ऐसे क्या नए कदम उठाए जा सकते हैं? क्योंकि शिक्षा 100 दरवाजों को खोलने की चाबी है, ना कि अंधकार को।
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, कोटा के शिक्षा प्रशिक्षण केंद्र में छात्रों आत्महत्या की केसेस का मुख्य कारण एकेडमिक दबाव और तनाव है। छात्रों की मदद करेगा। इन सब बातों को ध्यान में रखते हुए नई शिक्षा नीति में कुछ सुधार लाए गए हैं, जैसे कि पहला, प्रभाविकता से लागू करना। तीसरा, तनाव प्रबंधन और सार्वजनिक पाठ्यक्रम। वर्तमान पाठ्यक्रम में छात्रों के भावनात्मक और मनोवैज्ञानिक आवश्यकताओं का भी ध्यान रखा जाएगा। तनाव प्रबंधन सिखाने वाले कार्य भी किए जाएंगे। धन्यवाद।
Now, for this, those who are in favor...
Madam Speaker,
I have a question. Yes?
Importance of regional languages in our education system. I must express a growing concern that language alone cannot fully reconnect our youth with the rich variety of India's cultural heritage.
मैम आपके क्वेश्चन खत्म होने का नाम मेरी सॉरी मैम।
Should not we be striving to ensure that every Indian child grows up with a profound understanding of their cultural roots, so they are well equipped to navigate the global stage without losing their identity? How does the government plan to address this imbalance in our education system, ensuring that our own heritage does not become a footnote in the minds of the next generation?
Respected member, I appreciate the concern you have brought forward. It is true that language alone cannot reconnect our youth with our roots. But this education forms Indian history, culture and mythology. In fact, the initiatives have already been taken to incorporate Indian mythology in Hindi and history curriculum. This balanced approach will help our students to navigate themselves in their future and move with a pride in their culture roots. अंत में मैं भारतीय संस्कृति के गर्भ में और हमारे शिक्षक बनने पर आधारित एक छोटी सी कविता पेश करना चाहूँगी। भारतीय संस्कृति हमारी शान, जड़ों में बसी है पहचान, शिक्षा की राह रोशन करे, हर युवा को आगे बढ़ाए, सरकार का संकल्प मजबूत, सभ्यता का मान रखे सदा, सभ्यता को साजे दिल से सदा। धन्यवाद। Education has been a victim of politics rather than its beneficiary. Members, I have some points of consideration with me. That is, the first, holistic and multidisciplinary education, particularly in under-resourced schools. For this, the government has released the highest budget ever. That is 75,000 crore. I repeat, 75,000 crore. The second point is early childhood care and education for all children aged. Is education reform for higher education with flexible curriculum, multiple exit options, and the establishment of National Research Foundation (NRF). The last but not the least is the credit transfer system. The Academic Policy 2020 ought to live up to your demands. Your support is something that will help transfer these concerns of the members. Will it not? Yes. Yes, it's so.
Those who are against will say no. Now, honorable ministers, that I am confident that all the members of the House, irrespective of the party affiliation, will welcome the bill wholeheartedly, and I hope they will be taken into consideration as motion move that the bill movement of the new education policy 2020 and for matters connected therefore with two or essential to be taken into consideration. So, the final voting, those who are in favor will say aye. Aye. Those who are against will say no. No. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it, and the motion is now adopted. Now, 2024. He was a visionary business leader, a compassionate soul, and an extraordinary human being. He endeared himself to several people, thanks to his humanity, kindness, and an unwavering commitment to making our society better. I will request the House to stand in silence for 2 minutes to express our deep sorrow.
I would like to extend my deepest without whom it was not possible to make this event a successful one. I would like to thank Ms. Neena Nayar ma'am and Ms. Palak for guiding our students throughout their practice. A special mention must go to our teachers and volunteers for their dedication behind the screen and arranging this beautiful setup of the parliament. And they are Ms. Dr. Govinda ma'am, Ms. Shweta, Ms. Sakshi, Mr. Rajesh, Mr. Ravinder, Mr. Nagendra and Mr. Sanjay. I would also like to thank Mr. Raman sir, Mr. Chandrasekhar sir, Mr. Jatin, Ms. Ritika and the helping staff for their dedication. The chain of my gratitude would be incomplete if I forgot to thank our disciplined students for having patience throughout the session and maintaining silence. Coordinators and the HM for being part of this event. As we conclude, let us take forward the spirit of healthy living and mutual respect that we have nurtured.
I have done PhD in political science and history. This is my favorite subject. And to show this, we are proud of this thing that you will definitely rule the world. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
One last special thanks to Dr. Preeti Rana ma'am for conducting this entire event successfully. Please have a big round of applause for her. With this, I end. Thank you, Jai Hind. Now all the students and the teachers may now proceed to their respective